Hey there! Can you guys hear me okay and see me? Let me know. Thanks, Tammy. I think that the links I posted on social media are probably invalid because I had to create an entirely new stream. Hey, Heather. Okay, good. Oh my gosh, you guys. Boy, was that a lesson. So I have two Gmail accounts, and when I tried to sign in to my streaming account, I thought I had used the wrong email, so I switched Google accounts and I screwed everything up because that's not the Google account YouTube's under, it's not the Google account my streaming service is under, and we just went dark. So, lots of fun. Anywho, let's get started. I am going to be using the Awash in Beauty suite today, and I'm just doing 3 simple cards. So if you have not seen this in the catalog yet, you can view the entire collection on page 66 of the new annual catalog, and there you will see the entire collection of products. I suppose I could open my catalog and show you. Today's going to be an interesting one, people. So anyway, here is the Awash in Beauty suite, and you get the 12 by 12 DSP. You also get the iridescent pearl basic jewels, which you can see off to the side here. I'm going to be using those today, as well as the stamp set and the dies. So this down here is the bundle that you save 10% on. And then if you want to see the dies, those are on page 166. And they are right here. So you get this really pretty background die where you can use what it cuts out. And then if you wanted, you could use the little diamond shapes that are left over. And then it has dies that cut out the stamps, as well as some of the images on the designer series paper and some little sprigs here, which are great. So that's what we're going to be using today. And I also wanted to mention this product that is not technically new. We did have one before, but this is the new release, and this is the magnetic plate that goes with our Stampin' Boss die cut machine. There is also one for the mini. This plate is a must-have in my opinion. It is magnetic all the way through. Your dies don't jump around. They stay in place wherever you put them. I would always have issues, even sometimes when I adhered my dies to the paper and ran them through my machine with the dies shifting a little, and your dies go absolutely nowhere. And it's great too, because if you want, and you're like me, and you just kind of toss your dies aside after you've used them and don't necessarily put them back, you can just stick them to the plate. So this is $28, and it is on page 157 of the annual catalog, and the mini magnetic plate is also on page 157, and it is $14. So I had to mention that. That's one of my new must-have products right now. Okay, so let's get into the cards. So my friend Heather Sides, who is so smart, she keeps her projects in little bags so everything stays together, so she doesn't lose her pieces. And that's one of my biggest issues, is I throw things all over the place and then I can't find anything. So I have pre-cut everything today, so we are just going to assemble. I only used sentiment stamps from this stamp set. which is right here. And it does have some beautiful distinctive stamps. I will show you some if I can. Oh, here they are. I was going to say if I could remember where I put them. I was practicing with doing some sponge daubing to create different gradients of color. Oh, it is not. Okay, thank you, Jason. I just saw it in there and assumed it was okay. So I have found personally that I like these images better when I stamp them off and then stamp them, because I like that they're a little less saturated. So for example, this one is stamped off. This is Blushing Bride with Mary Merlot sponged on. And then I stamp off and stamp on the paper. This one down here, as you can see, is not stamped off. Now, obviously, I did not do a very good job here of blending that in, but I do prefer stamped off. I like the way this one looks. This is, why can't I think of that? Blushing Bride and Melon Mambo. This one was stamped off twice, and there is some, I don't know if you can see, some Wink of Stella on there. Oh, thank you, Tammy. So that was kind of fun. And then if you recently watched Patty's live and heard her talk about the shading technique with our watercolor pencils, I tried that on some of the flowers that I didn't really care for the way they turned out. And yeah, I need to go watch the video to see how to do it. It wasn't pretty, people. So anyways, there's just some examples of flowers that I practiced stamping yesterday while I was trying to come up with ideas. So, okay, enough chatting about that. So this is the first card we're going to do. Like I said, these are super, super simple. So if you like making simple cards like I do, or you're a new stamper or crafter, or you're just looking for simple cards for an event or a class, these are super easy, right up my alley. All right, let's grab Tom. So the first card that we have uses a crumb cake base. This is an A2 card, so finished size 4¼ by 5½. And then we have a piece of the Awash and Beauty DSP. This is cut to 3⅛ by 5½, and everything will be on my blog. I'll try to get it up tonight. Will definitely be up tomorrow, and I will have details in my YouTube description. So as I said, 3⅛ by 5½. And then we have a little strip of balmy blue. I forgot to cut this down, so I guess we'll have to do that. This is 1/4 by 4¼ Hey, Tracy, thanks for stopping by. I'm glad you found me. I had some major technical difficulties trying to get on, so glad I figured it out. Forgot to cut this down too, so I'll have to give you a, no, maybe I already said I forgot to cut it down. Anywho, we'll get a measurement on that. And then this is the sentiment. This sentiment is from the Awash with, or the True Beauty stamp set, and this is cut with one of the banner dies from the Stylish Shapes. And this is stamped in Mossy Meadow. So let's go ahead and put this together. Then there's a little more, floof is not the word I'm looking for, but a little more floof on the upcoming cards. You'll see what I mean. Okay, that was supposed to go over this way. See, this is why we use Tom when we can't remember exactly what we did. And then if you have an adhesive eraser, you can, once the glue dries, go ahead and erase that excess glue. I learned that from Jason. I was always trying to erase the glue when it was still wet. And let me tell you, that doesn't look very good. I'll show you what this looks like. We used to carry this and we no longer do. So I can link it in my YouTube description, but you can find them on Amazon. So they get kind of gunky, but it just removes adhesive, any adhesive. They're really great. Hey, Mel, thanks for being here. Yes, Jason, I agree. Simple, don't need a ton of supplies. And I like that. Okay, so here's what we're going to do with the sentiment. So we're just going to adhere the blue strip to the back of the banner here, but I forgot to cut the blue down. So I'm going to adhere it and then I'm going to cut it so I don't cut it short. I'm glad you caught me too, Mel. I got your text about the time, that you had the time wrong or something. So I'm glad you figured that out. Okay, so let's get that centered here. And Mel and Tracy, if you missed it, I am mentioning all of the dimensions that I'm using in the video, but they will be listed on my blog either tonight or definitely tomorrow, and I will have details in my YouTube description. So let me grab my snips here and hope that I can actually cut this straight, because that is not my strong suit. Okay, pretty good. So let's get this out of here and find some mini dimensionals. Maybe big ones. Big ones will fit. What are these big ones? Yes, it has been a doozy today and yesterday. But you know what? We just keep going. One foot in front of the other. Sometimes we need a nap. Sometimes we need a cry. All right. And the sentiment is just going to go right about here. And that is, I haven't put the pearls on yet, but that's just, yes. Oh my gosh, Tammy. And sometimes we need cake. Girl, I think I need cake a lot of times. Why do I never have cake though? Oh, I know, Mel. I will, I don't know if I linked this. I don't know if I linked my glue holder before. She also made me this, which holds my phone. It'll hold your iPad too, but yeah, it keeps it kind of low to the ground. So my phone can go in there. And then she also made me, I'm sorry, I have an office assistant. Sorry, Felix. An office assistant over here sleeping in a chair. She also made these, and they're little clips that go on your blending brushes. You do need a cry and cake and a nap. Yes, Heather, that's so true. She made me these brush clips. There's I can't remember how many there are total. 18? 16? Anyways, yeah, she's really neat. I found her on Etsy because I was looking for a glue holder after I saw Heather's monster glue holder. So I looked and found this lady, and she didn't sell any of these products. She did sell the cell phone holder, but not the glue holder for Tombow and not the brush clips. And she ended up making those. And then apparently they were pretty popular. And so she started selling them on her site. So it's really neat. Okay, and a brand spanking new pack of iridescent, well, let me make sure I call them iridescent pearls basic jewels. Yes, or a rocket to crawl under. Lord, I tell you sometimes. And I'm not a drinker, so that's not going to help me. Only thing that's going to soothe me there is a Coke or something. Specifically from McDonald's, because they have the best Coke. Okay, enough about that. So these, if you don't have them or you haven't seen them in person, are stunning. And I don't think the camera is doing them justice. Yes, Jason, I absolutely agree. I struggle to use the regular pearls because, one, they don't lend themselves well to the kind of cards I make because I use a lot of white, and I feel like they're kind of a really fancy pearl that would go like on wedding cards or something, or vintagey, shabby chic. And I don't, as much as I love those, I don't make those kind of cards often. So these just have, you probably can't tell on camera, but these just have this beautiful, well, they call them iridescent. To me, I don't know, there's just a mix of colors in them. Anyways, they're beautiful. So we're going to put some of these on here. By the way, any tips for not getting too much putty out of your take a pick tool? I am always squeezing out too much putty, no matter how hard I try not to twist it very much. And then I have this big thing on the end that I'm trying to smash down. So tips appreciated. All right, let's go ahead. I didn't make these cards before I finalized the layout. So I am putting them together for the first time. So I didn't even figure out where to put embellishments. In fact, I wasn't even sure where to, or what embellishments to use. And then I looked in the catalog and saw that this was part of the collection. So I thought, let's just pull these out and use these. So that's what we're doing. Oh, okay, Tracy. Well, if it's going to misbehave, then. So here we go. Just a super simple card. You could easily make more of these or make them, multiples, very easy. And I think that it looks fine without the pearls as well. So that is card number 1. Thanks, Mel. Oh, okay, Heather. That's a good tip. So twist it back so it doesn't keep oozing. I think this may be one of the few Stampin' Up! Products I've actually needed a refill for. I've never refilled an ink pad. What else do we have that's refillable? I mean, I've replaced basic staples, but I have so many backups of this putty because I just go through it so fast. Maybe because I'm oozing too much out. Okay, so card number 2. All my little pieces together. Sorry for the glare on that one. So this one is also using an A2 card base that I did not do very well on the bone folder there. Okay, so we have our A2 card base, and then we have this panel, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and it is, well, I guess it's not die cut. I don't know what you call this, but we'll say die cut. It is die cut with the stitched greenery die. I love this. I actually just got this, and it is so pretty. Then we have this panel, which is from the Awash and Beauty Designer Series paper, and it is cut to 2 1/2 by 4 1/2. And if I could pick this up, we have a banner here, also from the Awash and Beauty Designer Series paper. And this is cut to 1 by 5 1/8. If you don't have I used I know Mel's going to know what this is called. I don't have mine labeled. This punch, because Mel loves this punch, so I know she knows the name of it. Anyways, I punched it with this fishtail end here. No, wait, you got to go back. Okay, here. And if you don't have this punch, then you can just go ahead and either leave it as just a banner with 2 straight ends, or you can cut this with your snips. Super easy to do. Then we have 2 of the sprigs cut from the dies in Mossy Meadow. And thank you, Mel, banner pick-a-punch. And then we have this sentiment, which is from the True Beauty stamp set, but the die that I put the sentiment in is this one right here. Now, you're probably right now. And this is from the geranium dies. And the sentiment just fit really well in there. Now, the organic, what are they called? I wrote it down. Organic beauty dies that go with the True Beauty bundle do not have a die that cuts any of the sentiments. I don't think. I'm pretty sure I'm right there. So I wanted to use something to cut the sentiment out. So let's go ahead and start assembling. I just think these background dies are so neat. I wish that we had more of them. I probably could use seal on this, but I'm always afraid I'm going to have to refill it on camera, which I know won't go well, or I'm going to place it down crooked. So this is just going to go even borders all around. I know there's, oh geez, I know there's probably a easier way to do this. Maybe Heather can show it on her live because she's always got like really good like tips and stuff. All right, get him to stick down here. And then we are going to take the banner. I'm going to put him down. This paper has some really pretty smaller prints, which I really like a lot. Those are mostly what I've been using. I really like the smaller prints. Okay, so this is just going to go about right here. I realized the other day that I think it was the cards I showed on my first live. One of the sentiments was completely crooked, and I took a picture of it. And I mean crooked, like it was at an upward angle. And I realized I took a picture of it and posted it and just thought, well, what do you do, right? Don't cheat on Tom. Yeah, I know. You got to be careful. Tom can be pretty sensitive. Okay, so we're going to place this panel. I don't know. It's supposed to be placed at an angle, but I'm not sure. This is actually, I wanted this to actually kind of hang off the pink panel. So sorry, you know, just mostly prepared today, but I'm afraid if I cut it down that it's going to make the panel too narrow. I think it looks okay if I move it over this way. Yeah, we'll just roll with that. Why not? It's just paper, right? Thanks, Tracy. Okay, so this needs dimensionals. And then I'm going to figure out where to put my little sprigs. I can put one in the middle. I don't know if I want one. I did stamp and cut a sprig from the stamp set, but I didn't care for the white outline with this layout. So I say as long as some of your greenery is over the blue. Okay. Let's see here. Well, I already glued down my pink. Okay. Because that was kind of the original thing, Jason, was that yeah, that looks fine. one of the stems was supposed to go kind of along this seam here, but then yeah, you know me. Okay, so you guys are probably going to think this is dorky, but I have to mark stuff, and I mark in pencil, and not always on the front of the card, but I don't want the sprigs to get, maybe I should straighten my card. I know I'm going to put this sentiment on crooked. Okay, so let's glue this guy down. And you don't have to put glue all over it if you don't want to. My fine tip glue bottle is clogged again, even though I put the lid on it. So I'm not using that today. But you don't have to put glue all over this. I mean, if you like dimension, then you can leave some of the little stems or buds unglued so that I bet this is making some of you just cringe in your seats. Just leave some up for dimension. It's one of the things I learned from Mel, because she likes a lot of dimension, and that's what I learned from her, was not to glue everything down flat if you want dimension from your foliage or flowers or whatever it is. So learned a lot from my Stampin' Up! Friends. Don't think I meant to put glue twice where this guy goes, but that's okay. Let's see if I like that before I press it down. Maybe he needs to go a little lower. Okay, we'll take our dimensionals off. Yes, glue dots are great too. Yeah, I was kind of bummed, Tracy. I mean, I did buy like a 10 pack because I didn't look at the description of the fine tip glue bottles. And somebody had said, oh, it doesn't get clogged because it has this little, sorry, I gotta pick this up because I can't tell if it's straight or not on a crooked piece of paper. Somebody said, oh, it has a lid and so it doesn't get clogged. Well, sure enough, mine got clogged. And I think part of the problem is that when I went to unclog it, I just used a pin, and I think I accidentally pushed part of the silver tip back down into the bottle. Now it's all wonky, but what do? It's going to be way too hard to get the Tombow back out of it. So I don't know. I'll have to figure something out. Okay, time for our jewels. And another thing that would be pretty on here too is if you wanted to splatter Wink of Stella, or even Wink of Stella your foliage, whatever you want to do. I'm like, see guys, look how much is coming out of here. Oh god. Okay. I love these pearls. They're kind of like oh boy, what with the long names? The iridescent rhinestone jewels. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. But I like these because they kind of pick up the color too in the elements on your card. You did. Oh, okay. You poured it into another bottle. Okay, I'll have to try that. I imagine if I keep it tipped long enough. But you know what's weird too is it's like getting condensation in it. Did yours do that? I hope I didn't ruin my Tom. I mean, it's not like I don't have 50 other bottles, but you don't want to waste your Tom. Okay. I don't know why putting jewels on cards on camera is just so nerve-wracking. Maybe because I don't want people to know how long it takes me to put embellishments on cards. Because I'm always like, oh no, doesn't look good there, doesn't look good there. Okay. I was talking to Jason today, and we were talking about how we've gotten faster on some of our cards because sometimes a card will take us like 4 hours. And not just putting the embellishments on, I mean to make the whole entire thing. So, see, I don't like that. Okay. You guys are like, just come on, Marcee, put the freaking pearl down. Okay. All right, we're gonna stick it right there. Okay. Tomboy. I had a Tombow into my fine tip glue pen bottle to make it thicker. Oh, really? Our fine tip glue pen, Tracy? I just bought one of those because I wanted to use it with the new sequins that we have, which I'm sure Tombow is fine. Hey, Patty, thanks for popping on. I'm glad you could make it. I got a late start. I had some massive technical difficulties. I was signed into the wrong Google account, which doesn't connect to my YouTube account, and my stream completely disappeared off of YouTube. It was just it was a hot mess. You do what Mel does. So you put the Tombow. Okay, let me see, because I want to make sure that I have this correct. And I know I am not going to be able to find. Oh, okay, this. Is this what you're talking about? You put your Tombow in? Let me just take it out of the bag here so we can all see it. This. Is this what you're talking about, Mel and Tracy? Oh, you're kidding. Really? I've never heard of that. Okay, question. So Mel said she does this to make it hold better. So when you mix the Tombow with this, you get a better hold? Well, how fancy is that? Well, I may have to, well, I guess I should probably use this first before I buy another bottle and try that concoction. Awesome. Well, that is so neat. I had no idea. Let's see, Patty, I'll bring back in the first card so you can see it. I'm just doing really, really simple cards today. So this was the first one that we did. So just some designer series paper, a sentiment, and then I don't know if you can see the pearls on camera. So yeah, that's the first one we made. And then here was the second one when we used this, I can't even talk, the stitched a greenery die with some of the Awash and Beauty Designer Series paper and a couple of the die cuts from the Organic Beauty dies. And then this sentiment, which is also from the True Beauty stamps, stamped in Mossy Meadow. And this die is from the Geranium dies. Tom might be getting married. Oh, that's funny. Hey, I'm excited to try that. I love stuff like that. That is so good to know. Because I think you might have seen this on one of my lives before, Patty, but I thought this is what Tracy was talking about. And I was saying that this clogged, and it's not supposed to because it has this little cap. But when I went to unclog it the first time, I stuck a pin down in here in the needle nose. And I think I pushed some of this silver part down, and now it just doesn't work. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do with all this glue in here? Maybe I could try to get some of that out of there for the next time I mix the glues. All right, so let's move on to card number 3. But there we go. I was like, but I can't find the envelope. I put all my pieces in. Oh boy. All right, so this one is also an A2 card. Pretty much all of my cards are A2, and this is a thick basic white piece of cardstock. And then we have a panel that is 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm hoping you guys can see this on camera. It's kind of hard. Next time I'm going to put a shim in with it. But I took one of our new stencils. I don't know if you guys can see this. Can you see that? No. So I took one of our new stencils and I embossed with it with our die cut machine. And I just used the magnetic plate. I put my piece of paper down on the magnetic plate. I just used the magnetic sandwich. And then I put down my clear cutting plate and I ran it through. So it does emboss pretty good. This is on the thick basic white. I did not try it on the regular basic white, so you might get more of an impression since it is a thinner paper. You want me to show you how I did it, Mel? The sandwich patty is the one we use for the magnetic plate. So it is the plate 1, the base plate. Okay, I will show you. And then plate 5, the magnetic plate, and then plate 3. Sorry, that's upside down. That's probably going to bother some of you. And then plate 3. So yeah, I will show you. Let me get this stuff off the screen here, and I will grab my die cut machine, and hopefully I can fit it all in the camera. I'm going to put these back in an envelope because we all know what'll happen if I don't. All right, so let me see if I have a piece of, oh, and Patty, I showed some flowers earlier that I stamped. If I don't forget, I'll show them at the end so that you can see what they look like. I just didn't use them on my projects. Do you care, does anybody care if I emboss? Does anyone have a preference on which basic white I emboss on? I can do it on, I have a panel of the regular, and I can emboss it on that if anyone wants to see if there's a difference from the thick basic white that I used earlier. And let's, oh geez, okay, so, see, I even have my masks. Do you want me to do it with the same mask? Or do you want me to do it with one of the other patterns? The other smaller patterns are this one, regular. You want me to do it with this one? That's the one I used for my card. Okay, so let's see. We got to get our little sandwich in here. So plate 1, plate 5. Now you don't have to do this with the magnetic sandwich. I just did it because I thought it was going to be tight enough to leave an impression on the paper with the stencil. But I think I would have got an even deeper impression if I had have used a shim, maybe another sandwich. But I will tell you, the one thing I really like about this magnetic plate is that, and Jason was mentioning this earlier today too, is that your clear plates don't warp. They've gotten straighter. So when I originally embossed, I had a bigger piece of paper. And sorry, this is not full screen here. Okay, I had a bigger piece of paper. And the reason for that was so that if I didn't get this laid straight, then I could cut it down to make it look better. But these stay pretty good. You could tape it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that, well, if you tape the stencil to the plate, doesn't necessarily mean the paper would stay, but I suppose you could put tape over, you know, the paper and stencil right here. But we're going to wing it today because I'm feeling it. So let's see. Sorry, my table's probably going to shake. Now this one, I feel like, okay, I'm actually going to put a shim on this because I feel like it's not as tight with the, don't mind me, everybody. You see my sleeves? I'm still in my pajamas. That's what I love about lives. I'm going to run this back through and see if we get a better impression. Poor basic blue or balmy blue. Look at him. He's just like, oh my gosh, getting squeezed to death in here. Okay. There you go. See it? And you could even ink blend on this paper and do this. I mean, you could do it on any paper, any color paper. And maybe with a different sandwich, you would get a deeper impression. But yeah, it's just super simple. And it's a neat effect. I mean, with stencils too, if you want, you can also trace inside of them. I mean, the ones that we got that are like this, like the labels, you could totally trace inside of those with any marker or black pen or whatever you wanted and use it that way. Or you could mix a bottle of re-inker with some alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, and you could spray it through the stencil. That gives a really cool look too. So, wow. This really like thinned, it's got marks on it, but it really thinned out the paper by pressing it down. Okay, so there was that fun technique. And so let's get our third card put together. So we've got our A2 and we've got our embossed panel glue. I wonder what this would look like if you did it on, I wonder if it would crack the vellum, or if, which paper was it that carried over that, was it the pearlescent paper? I know we had two. One of them's more cream colored and the other one was more white. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? I'm wondering what that would look like if you tried to emboss it with a stencil. I'll have to try it. I have some vellum and some of the pearlescent paper that carried over. Ooh, or one of our foil papers. I wonder if that would leave an impression, or if that paper might be a little too dense. Okay, so I don't know if I don't remember if I gave dimensions for these. I think I only got to the embossed panel. So this is 2 by 5 1/4 strip here. And then what I did was I cut out this stem and this flower from the patterned paper. Oh, Patty, I'll show you the flowers I made. Or not made, but stamped. I was trying to get an idea. That's right, mother of pearl. Okay, so the names are so close. So here's some of the flowers I stamped, Patty. Just one flower, but I was trying to do different colors with a dauber and found that I liked it best if I applied the color, stamped off, and then stamped. I kind of liked this look better than maybe something more saturated. And then I just put some Wink of Stella, splattered that over there. And the reason this is cut out weird is because I had flowers that I didn't like at all, and I was trying the pencil shading technique, which didn't turn out very well. So I got to watch that video. And cat hair on my card. Okay, so this one's super easy. You just got to adhere everything down. Maybe. Stuck my finger in the glue. Oops, sorry for that. I'm so glad you guys found me after my debacle. Oh boy. I mean, now I know, but still. I mean, I was just beside myself. Okay, so then we're going to glue down our stem. Maybe I shouldn't do it over the card, you know, just in case, because an accident will happen. Okay, and then our flower. Let's see which way is he gonna look the best? Oh, he looks too stubby there. I think we should maybe pop him up. I don't know why it's a him. It just is. Did any of you grow up with your family like having genders for things that you owned, like cars? Our cars were always she's. I don't, you know, like, well, she's not running very good. I don't know. I don't know, totally random, but calling my flower a he reminded me of that. That looks weird. I don't like that. Okay, here we go. This cat hair does not want to go away. All right, so there's that. And then the sentiment is from the, yeah, this is the one thing I didn't write down. It's from the sending, what is the stamp set? It has the big sending script stamp in it, and then there's a coordinating die. Excuse me. So this is a sentiment from that stamp set. And then this little strip is 3/8 by 2. And I just stamped in black. I really like just sentiments that go straight across a little strip of paper because they're very simple. And I really like the ones that, well, what am I doing? People cut them out, cut around the words, kind of to make it the same shape as the words. And I'm not very good at that. So I'm really glad that we got some dies that cut the shapes of the words. But those were not what I was looking for today. So I just used one from this stamp set that I can't remember the name of, that I didn't write down. I was so prepared today with my measurements and everything. So prepared for a stream that almost didn't happen. It was funny, Heather, I didn't tell you, but last week, you know, I didn't do my live because stuff. And I was planning on doing the pigs. Thank you, Jason, sending smiles. And then I watched your live and I was like, oh my gosh, Heather did the pigs. I think I forgot to cut this down. Did I? Who knows? Anybody? Anyway, we're just going to leave it. We're not going to risk me cutting something. Oh. I think we need to cut it. All right, everybody. Let's hope this doesn't go wrong. All right, where did I put? Oh, here they are, right in front of my face. Okay, so. All right, you have just witnessed a miracle. I didn't bugger it up. Okay, now I don't like the other end. Okay. There we go. Maybe. Okay, well now we can put our pearls on. This edge. I know you guys are like, you're way too particular, but my edge is droopy. Okay, pearls. Pearls, pearls. I always like to, oh, this one's going to be too big, but I always like to try to hide if I pop something like a sentiment up, I always like to try to tuck a little pearl under part of it. I don't know why. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just talking about this earlier, Patty, how I could spend forever trying to figure out where to put an embellishment. Maybe I want to use a big one. No, I don't want a big by a big. Okay, we'll do that. Okay, so card number 3. There we go. And this will look pretty with Wink of Stella on the pugs. um, with Wink of Stella on this if you wanted, or whatever you want to do. And it would look cute with other embellishments too. I was just trying to use as many of the products in the suite as possible. So let's bring them all out. Here we go. Oh, this crooked piece of paper is going to drive me bonkers. Oh well, I just won't look at it too much. Anyways, there we have the 3 cards with the Awash and Beauty suite. I hope you guys like them. And thank you so much for stopping by today. Mel, I'm glad you figured out what time I was on. And Tracy, thank you. And Heather and Patty and Tammy and Jason. Tell Jim hi. I noticed he's not on today. And I really thank you for joining me and supporting me. It means a ton. And you guys are just the best. So that's what I have for you today. I will have everything on my blog no later than tomorrow, say afternoon. And I will have details, excuse me, on my YouTube channel in just a little bit. Yes, get it out, Mel. I want to see what you're going to make with it. You know I love your projects. So that's all I have today for you, my friends. I would love it if you would subscribe if you're not already and give my video a like. That would be great. So I will see you next Wednesday at 2 p.m. back here on YouTube. Thank you. Bye, everybody.